buildings with really thick walls, with a high point that reached up to the sky, and it would be a beautiful place for people to come and share those ideas. And we're trying to build this organization in that way, not with any religious context, but to make really thick, deep foundations, and which is why we invest so heavily in things like hiring and things like that, and culture and understanding our culture, is because we're much more concerned about how things are unfolding in the long term and where we have to go, because we have this sense of purpose and change we want to create in the world, and we just know it's going to take a long time. And I think that requires a lot of patience.
Yeah. So you're almost 20 years into it, right?
Yeah, 19, yeah.
2 decades in, obviously a couple more decades to go. How do you plan for that, given that it's a fairly ambiguous future?
Yeah, that's what's fascinating and cool, and frankly super inspiring for me. We're very detailed about measuring employee engagement and workplace health. And one of the, aside from some systems issues, one of the key areas for us to get better in as a company to improve engagement right now is clarity of vision. And we've been on sort of a 3 or 4 year journey to get clear about where our next step is and where we're going, and this point in the horizon. So I said the term, there's a change in the world that we feel we want to play a role in, and it's all related to our purpose around helping organizations and people thrive. And my belief is that we ought not to create a long-term vision that says, well, these are our skills, this is the opportunity in the market, this is where the world's going to spend their money here and there, and then position ourselves to kind of, to poorly quote Wayne Gretzky, skate to where the puck's going to be in terms of the market. I think vision needs to come from thinking about why you exist, your purpose, and understanding how that will most successfully unfold over time. And you need to think about the other market dynamics and the other realities of that, but we want to drive our purpose based on, we want to drive our vision based on how we can best live our purpose over time. So that gives me a different perspective to think about where we want to go as a company and the role we want to play in creating this bigger change, which is related to the impact we can have on our customers and their cultures and helping their organizations thrive. So you asked,
how do you plan for that?
How do you plan for that? And we're in a really interesting industry right now where if in the long term we feel that technology and process and culture in organizations, they need to come together in different ways than they do right now. Industry uses technology in a way that's really oriented around making processes easier. We know that there's a massive opportunity for technology and process and culture to play a role in really changing how people relate to each other, how they relate to their organizations, and how great their careers are, and the productivity those organizations get from those people. So that's not simply using technology to make the payroll process simpler or supply chain simpler, and that's what technology is for today. And it's very important, but it's actually using the combination of technology, process, and people, and culture rather, to actually shift the experience that people have, the experiences organizations have with their people, and actually change the whole dynamic, create these more thriving organizations. If that's where we're going in the long term, our industry rather, is focused on thinking about technology in this really process-oriented way. So we have to create a bit of a shift in the next 5 years. The question is, how do we get our market and our customers thinking about us more in terms of some of those bigger cultural and change, culture and
transformation agency.
Yeah. Our industry and organizations like us are typecast as technology companies or design organizations or agencies. It's tough to get out of that typecast to get involved in the right conversations, to really be involved in organizational change, to really get into the meat of that. Yet we know that what we have to offer is critical to kind of create those outcomes in the organizations we're dealing with. So we have to overcome that hurdle. So in the next 5 years, we really have to focus on being known for something different. not being known just as a technology-oriented, design-oriented consulting sort of organization, but one that is associated with very specific business outcomes. Could be safety or cultural change or employee engagement or anything like that. So we're picking away at those things right now. And what's interesting, what's fascinating to me is that, the market by and large isn't ready to buy organizations like us that way. So there's a window that will be open, and if we shoot too fast, we're gonna hit the sill at the bottom. If we're too slow, we're gonna hit the window closing at the top. So there's this little opening we gotta squeeze our way through.
Yeah.
So we're thinking very tactically about how we set ourselves up for success in that context in the short term.
So I'm assuming over the last 20 years, you have hit this windowsill from time to time. Some mistakes have been made, some bets have been placed that haven't worked out.
Yes,
Tell
for
us
sure.
about one or two that left an impression on you, and maybe how that influences how you think today.
So one of the things that's really had an impact on me is looking at our organization, and I feel like we're very clear about our sense of purpose right now. We articulate our purpose in this pithy little way. We're very passionate about helping people in our organizations thrive. And I know that sounds very generic, but it's super meaningful to us, and it's getting more and more meaningful over time. And the mistake that I've seen us make a number of times is finding our footing inside the concepts of that purpose. And by finding our footing, I mean doing work with clients that we can really truly relate to, like living that purpose. And then being pulled off that sweet spot by clients, well-meaning and even in a supportive way, saying, "You guys are so good at this, can you help us with this?" So it's the being drawn into the stuff that we're good at and away the stuff that we're great at and really passionate about. And that has been the continual challenge for us. And when I look at just the financial profit and growth and engagement and the sort of quantifiable elements of our business success, or I scrap all that and how does my gut feel at the end of every year how the year was, it's actually quite clear when you pick through our history that there are times when we were in that sweet spot of what we really care about, what we're really passionate about, what we're really good at, like living our purpose, and we're killing in the market, and we're growing at the rate we want to grow at, and we're highly profitable, and people are happy, and clients are super happy. It's freaking nirvana. And then there's times when we can't quite hold that, and we slip away, we're outside of that sweet spot, and we're doing stuff that seemed like a good idea, it seemed like a good opportunity, but it's not really what we really care about. And it's not really where we're going to make an impact on our clients. It's not really where we're going to change their organizations in a significant way. It's not where we're going to change ourselves either. So our learning goes down, what the impact we make on our clients starts to recede a little bit. Our ability to innovate recedes, ironically, and that's that lack of clarity of vision and where we're going, and lack of clarity about really what our purpose is and what we really care about. And so there are 3 or 4 really decent cycles in our company's history where we've flattened out in that way because we ate the marshmallow. We took the easy work that was in front of us. We got confused thinking that it was really about doing the right thing for this client would be to help them out in this problem where they're stuck rather than focusing on stuff we would be awesome at. And so, I mean, I don't know if that's specific enough in terms of your example, but that's the cycle we go through, and that's the lesson.
So when you lose focus, you lose everything, not just money, but everything.
Yeah, and when we live outside our purpose, nothing works well. And I'm not saying it's easy to understand that and just stick there. It's very hard, right? That's the whole.
But it's
challenge.
the best lesson. Yeah.
But it's the best lesson, yeah.
We good on time? Sometimes we have to change the battery.
8 minutes.
Okay. 8 minutes of talk and then we have to change the battery. How do you think the other people that you work with describe you?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Maybe we invite them in.
What's that?
Maybe we invite them in.
That would be probably easier. Yeah, I don't know. I think I think people think, and I hope it's true, that I'm open and accessible, and I'm really passionate about the experience people have here. I'm passionate about the experience our clients have working with us. I'm really passionate about the experience that people, the career experience people have here. And I think that comes through in terms of how people see me, I believe. I think people would sometimes think of me as a bit theoretical and conceptual and confusing and hard to nail down, potentially even not totally grounded in some ways, which is hard to believe. I used to be an engineer, but I think they might also think that I'm pretty passionate and caring about what we're doing here and about them and their involvement in our business.
Tell me how we spoke a little bit about balance, or harmony is probably a better word. Tell me how you handle stressful situations. How do you actually physically, tactically deal with those situations every day?
Yeah, so I've learned, and this is completely tactical. I've learned the inextricable connection between sleep and exercise and diet and effective performance at work. And if I don't make time for exercise, I can't sleep. And if I'm not sleeping,